One memorable leader from the Inca Empire was Huayna Capac. He was responsible for renovating and bringing to life the famous road system for the land. This improved trade, communication, and transportation, which allowed for their empire to grow in economy and purchase more goods. Well, this is not the climate of the Inca Empire, that's for sure. This is not the equator. Now, since we've established and went over the Inca Empire, now it's time for the ops. The Aztec Empire!
What's the Aztec Empire?
Well, since you asked, the Aztec Empire began in 1325 and was brought to a sudden end by the conquistadors in 1520. The region was located in central Mexico.
Conquistadors were conquerors of Spanish, and they basically just conquered everyone. It was really.
Wait, where is Central Mexico?
The Aztecs were mainly around here in central Mexico, but they also conquered a lot of people and a lot of empires throughout basically all of this.
The Aztec Empire's state religion was also polytheistic. They believed that their gods, multiple gods, controlled the weather, the crops, and basically everything.
The first piece of monumental architecture created by the Aztec Empire were the pyramid structures. These pyramids were made to worship the gods. The next monumental architecture from the Aztec is the temples. The purpose of these temples were so that the priests could come and communicate with these gods, meaning they would go in the temples and basically pray and ask the gods for certain things like more money, another way to expand, and just other goods. And for food because they thought the gods controlled their food and other natural disasters. This is still kind of boring. Are you sure there's nothing more interesting about the Aztecs? They're just like the Inca.
Well, actually, the Aztecs and Incas are quite different. Unlike the Inca, the Aztecs had good recording keeping skills. These Aztecs would use scribes and keep all their stuff written down.
Scientists were able to discover these because the Aztecs were so good at keeping track.
And of course, their architecture.
Fuck, bro. The native language of both the Aztecs and the Toltec civilizations was Nahuatl. The Aztecs had a culture based on war and agriculture. The Aztecs were actually very brutal and got into a lot of wars and had a lot of bloody ceremonies. Just like the Inca, they were polytheistic.
Since the Aztec was a land-based empire, they used a lot of land-based trade routes.
They were actually really developed on the kind of goods they imported and exported, which includes avocado, beans, tobacco, squash, hemp, corn, and animals. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, are we going to choose to conquer this empire or trade with them? Well, the answer is rival.
The reason we're choosing to rival is because the Inca already have most of the food that the Aztecs are willing to trade. The Aztecs are also pretty gruesome with their ceremonies that they perform.
One of the most gruesome ceremonies they had was where they would literally take all the people and just choose them at random and just kill them.
But what was this for?
They thought that killing people of their empire would act as some sort of sacrifice for the gods, and the gods would, in exchange for all these people, return them with like food and crops.
Now, the Aztec military. The Jaguar warriors' job was to be the leaders and commanders of both on and off of the battlefield. They would protect the Aztecs in battle and fight away any bad people or things that would try to attack the Aztecs.
Like the Jaguars, the Eagle Warriors were another type of warrior. But unlike the Jaguars, they thought the Eagle Warriors' job was to capture the greatest number of captives, and they would police the city and take the people who lived there. The Aztecs used something called atlatl,
which was basically just a spear.
These spears were made out of wood, shell, thread, cotton, wood as the base shells, as the spear, and thread to hold it all together.
These are the flags of both the Inca and the Aztecs.
This is the Inca, that's the Aztec.
Well, that's all the information we have today on the Inca and the Aztecs.
So, what would you do? Would you choose to conquer or trade with the Aztecs?